Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a general love reading. And keep in mind, I'm not channeling every collective, so it's not going to resonate with everyone, but it's going to be pretty in-depth, so you'll know if it's yours. I recently felt called to take some personal readings, so I started with my members side of YouTube just because I didn't know how many people would want readings. So I'm currently working through all of those personal readings. But I wanted to come on and do one kind of like the style I'm doing the personal reading. Um, I am I am considering taking some readings for the second half of January and for February. I'm actually going to be having surgery in mid-January, and for like a month and a half after my surgery, I'm not going to be able to work out or do anything like strenuous. And, working out is a big part of my life now. I spend like 2 to 3 hours a day working out. So I'm going to have some extra time on my hands. So I'm thinking about offering some personal readings for, like I said, the end of January and through February. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, when I was getting ready for this reading, when I was meditating, I was picking up on some anxiety, and I was hearing like a really specific quote, and I've never heard it before. I was hearing, "Fear is a natural reaction, courage is a choice." I have no idea. I have no idea what that means for you or your person. Maybe you are dealing with someone who, you know, maybe there's a fear of commitment or a fear of healing, or maybe they're a fearful avoidant. But I felt called to do a reading about this, and like my heart is just pounding right now. And I chose this deck, and on the bottom we have the Five of Pentacles. So it's possible. That's interesting because it looks like I'm holding the deck upside down. And we have Strength in reverse. And I was hearing that that thing about courage. So Five of Pentacles in reverse is about needing to make positive changes. So it's possible that what I was hearing was maybe someone has a fear of change here. And people can get stuck in their comfort zones. Change is uncomfortable. Change is a necessary part of life, but it can be uncomfortable and scary. And even just making the decision to heal, you know? So let's get into it. We're going to start with tarot today. I don't usually start with tarot. Maybe you're dealing with an Aries or a Leo. But we have the Fool, so someone could be afraid to take a leap of faith towards you. We have the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands is a sign of progress. But it's also, someone feeling very weighed down, someone feeling overwhelmed, burdens, lots of responsibilities. To me, it's also baggage that we carry from childhood. And I've recently talked about this, but anytime you go through conflict with another person, whether it be a family member, a friend, anytime there's a relationship that ends, we're meant to integrate lessons. And I think that, we live in a society where there's, I'm just thinking about how I actually don't know if it's easy to meet people online, but we live in a society where people can just, order fast food and get same day shipping. And I see that in love as well, where when a relationship ends, sometimes people jump into another relationship rather than facing themselves, rather than integrating the lessons they were meant to learn from the connection that ended. Excuse me, my throat. So it can take courage to sit with yourself, to go into that hermit energy and integrate those lessons from that connection. anytime you don't do that, you accumulate that baggage. That's what I was getting at with the 10 of Wands. So there could be a lot of change that this person needs to make, especially if they've kind of been accumulating baggage over their lifetime. One more shuffle. We have the 7 of Wands. So you could have been dealing with someone very defensive, kind of defending their baggage, I'm hearing. And I have to be clear, I don't believe, I feel like it's from a wounded place that people get defensive. And, you know, there are a lot of people out there who feel like they don't have things to heal, or they have this subconscious fear of looking at their shadows, because it's kind of like a can of worms once you start doing shadow work. It kind of, once you start unpacking that baggage, it's kind of a mess, right? Like imagine that 10 of Wands. Imagine you have 10 suitcases full of baggage and you've been avoiding opening any of them. And when you decide to heal, it's kind of like you put all 10 suitcases on your floor and you open them all up and you deal with the mess. Another thing that happens is sometimes when we start healing, I don't know why I'm telling you any of this, but sometimes when we start healing, baggage that we didn't even know we had, memories, wounds that we've suppressed start bubbling up. So it's, you know, it takes courage to heal and to look at ourselves. And that's what I mean about how some people are so quick just to jump into another relationship, or, you know, do people still go to the bars? To go to the bars and hook up. I don't know. I was never that person, but it's funny. I went downtown once and it was the most horrible experience of my life, and never again. Never again. I was not that type of person. Not that there's anything wrong with people who like to go to the club or whatever you call it. I don't know. I'm so out of touch. 9 of Swords, anxiety. See, I told you. I told you. Oh, that's what I'm feeling. So someone could have a fear of healing. And remember the quote that I heard, and I don't even know, like I've never even heard that quote. Fear is a natural reaction. Courage is a choice. So someone's feeling anxious about this, which makes sense because I grabbed a deck about how are they actually feel, like hidden feelings. So clearly this person isn't opening up to you. We've got, you know, anxiety, sleepless nights, mental torment. And, you know, the reversal of the 9 of Swords is about healing and recovery. So, you know, just thinking about the 9 of Swords, it is a lot of anxiety. And I spent most of my life, like since I was 12, I think, I was diagnosed with social anxiety or general anxiety disorder. And, you know, they just kept pumping me full of pills, like, take this antidepressant, take this one, it'll help. And all it did was really numb me. So I spent my entire life, blocked throat chakra. So someone's anxious about talking to you, but I spent my entire life feeling, up until I was like 35, feeling anxious. And when, you know, I talk about how I believe neurodivergent people are actually just highly spiritual beings that weren't meant to fit into this human, like they have a problem fitting into this human experience because they're spiritual beings. So while I was diagnosed with autism and ADHD at the age of 35, it was like a month after that that I spiritually awakened. But since I've spiritually awakened, since I've healed, not healed, I'm not completely healed, but I'm on the healing journey. The healing journey is, you know, a lifelong journey. I believe there's always lessons and more healing to be done. But since I've started doing shadow work, since I've unpacked those suitcases that I was avoiding, I don't have anxiety anymore. And I think about how long I was medicated for that when it was just, I had a wounded soul and I needed to heal. And that's why I talk about healing so much. But anyway, maybe your person has anxiety, but that's exactly what I was picking up on, was anxiety. Oh my goodness. So we have justice. So it feels like someone wronged you or someone blamed you unfairly. So that's another thing that happens, is when we have these unhealed wounds, we tend to project onto others. We tend to project onto others from a wounded place. Sometimes what we see in others that we judge them for, that we blame them for, is actually a projection of what's going on with inside of us. So you could have been dealing with someone who blamed you unfairly for, their fear or their anxiety or what was going on in your connection. The other thing I'm hearing is that you could be dealing with someone who has a fear of apologizing. And, you know, for some people, excuse me, for some people, apologizing is easy. Like, oh, I hurt you. I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't want to hurt you. I'm so sorry. But for others, it's very difficult. And especially if they're protecting those shadows, like subconsciously, if they're protecting their wounds, to admit fault can bring on a sense of shame. You could have been dealing with someone who never learned how to apologize. They could have watched their parents not apologize. But it feels like someone is nervous or losing sleep over the fact that they do need to apologize to you or take accountability. All right. So, Knight of Cups, King of Wands. You could have been dealing with someone who changed their mind. Like they could have promised you connection, promised you, like I'm hearing a few different things. They could have promised you that they saw this going somewhere. They could have promised you or communicated, gave you the energy that they saw this going somewhere, that there was a future, and maybe just as quick, changed their mind. You could have been dealing with someone who was lacking emotional maturity, which someone who's lacking emotional maturity has a hard time looking at themselves, has a hard time apologizing, has a hard time, I don't even want to say being wrong, but kind of. We also had the King of Wands there. So the King of Wands can be an energy of someone who's kind of, I'm thinking about the shadows. Someone who is kind of self-absorbed, a little bit selfish, more focused on themselves, a little bit hot-headed. And with that combination of the Knight of Cups and the King of Wands, it feels like there goes my heart. My heart just started pounding just as I was about to say this. It feels like you have someone that wants to rekindle things with you, and they need to take control of the situation and find that courage within. But they're in fear right now. So we have water signs, fire signs. We do have Libra with the Justice cards. So let's see what this is about. So I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to start with past energy. So we're going to look at what was going on between you in the past, just so I can get a really good idea. We have the Ace of Cups. So there was a new beginning. There was love there. Whoa. Okay. I just got chills. So this could have been a soul contract. I always talk about the Hierophant. To me is it's the energy of marriage and commitment, but it's also the energy of a spiritual connection where you're meant to teach each other lessons. So there was, the start of something with the Ace of Cups. And then the Hierophant shows that there was this higher level kind of soul contract. Again, this person could have told you they saw a future with you. They could have told you that they saw themselves committing to you, and you could have seen yourself committed, like you could have committed yourself to them. There goes my throat again. There could have been miscommunications. One thing I'm noticing about this Ace of Cups that I don't really notice on other Ace of Cups is usually the Ace of Cups is overflowing. Like you see it pooling out of that Ace of Cups, but this almost looks like it almost looks like this cup is leaking. Like it's not flowing out like in other cards. Do you know what I mean? Like it almost looks like it's coming out of a tiny pinhole. So one thing that I'm getting is that you could have been giving to a cup that didn't have the capacity to hold what you were giving it, if that makes sense. So like I do see love here, a beginning. But it's almost like I'm getting the energy just with the little trickles coming down, that it could have felt like you were putting your energy or your love into a cup that had a hole in it or that couldn't hold what you were giving it. What's on the bottom? We have the Five of Swords, self-sabotage. And this is a good example. This Five of Swords, this is an excellent example of when we don't heal our baggage, when we don't take the time to heal, like to take a break, right? After an ending or after you're wounded, if we don't take that break, that Four of Swords energy where we rest and we reflect and we heal, then we carry that baggage into the next connection. I always kind of imagine like a porcupine with the Five of Swords. I don't know why. Somewhere there's a Five of Swords that I've seen with a porcupine on it. That's why. But it's kind of how we learn to protect ourselves and to protect our wounds. And how does that look? It looks like being defensive. It looks like self-sabotage. It looks like sometimes mind games. So what I'm seeing is there was love here. There was the potential for marriage, maybe even the promise of a future. But then it was self-sabotaged, Two of Pentacles, this person could have been very inconsistent. And that's what I was getting with that Ace of Cups. That makes sense because you could have been giving to this connection, committed to it, right? But maybe they weren't, because remember I saw the Knight of Cups and I talked about emotional immaturity. I saw the King of Wands and I talked about how someone's kind of self-focused. So this person could have been super independent or just prioritized all of their things before love. And it could have felt like you were giving to, it's almost like I'm seeing a sinking ship and you're trying to bail out the water. It's kind of that energy. Like you were giving to, why am I repeating myself? Like you were trying to fill up a bucket with a hole in it. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. Do you guys remember that? I love that song. Henry, Liza, Elizabeth, those names could be symbolic. Yeah. So let's get some more information about the past. The initials TA could be symbolic. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, defensiveness. Possibly boundaries. So you were dealing with someone who wasn't showing up in a stable way. You were dealing with someone who like maybe did have a fear of commitment, because look at this. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse too. So the Eight of Pentacles in reverse talks about a connection failing because only one person is putting in effort. Someone could be an artist here. Maybe this person or you drew a picture of each other or painted a picture. Now I'm seeing like the whole Titanic thing. Jack and Rose, those names could be symbolic. Leo, Kate. There's definitely a lack of commitment here, or a fear of commitment. So Eight of Pentacles, I'm pretty sure that talks about neglecting a connection or a connection failing, even though one person was giving to it, right? To have that cup overflowing, yeah, not putting effort into love. And think back to the Queen of Wands, or the Queen of King of Wands that I was talking about. So think about that Ace of Cups. You kind of both have to give to that cup to have it overflowing. Like you can't, a relationship can't work if only one person is giving emotion and love to it. And that's exactly what this Eight of Pentacles is pointing towards. And you could have, they could have made you feel like an option with the Seven of Cups. It could have been very confusing. They could have prioritized work, hobbies. I heard addictions for some of you, friendships, family, anything and everything over this connection. And even though you were giving to it, it can't work like that. And, looking at that Ace of Cups, I'm hearing a person can only meet you from where they are. So if this person was lacking confidence and lacking self-love themselves, and I often say the most arrogant people are actually have the most fragile ego, have the lowest self-esteem. They just overcompensate. But if this person was lacking emotional maturity, they wouldn't be able to give you that. If they were lacking self-love, they wouldn't know how to receive your love or even give it back. If you were the only one healing, right? Because I went on that download about healing. If they weren't healing and you were healing your butt off, like that's not going to work either. So, yeah, there was not much effort being put in, not putting an effort into love, neglecting the relationship. So someone was, neglecting you. And if you had a wound, let's say a childhood wound where you felt neglected, that would have triggered you. If you had a wound where you were lacking self-love and confidence, that would have triggered you. So it's possible that you and this person triggered each other, right? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, there was a lot of confusion here, distractions. So this person was like distracted with other things. And people who tend to avoid do distract themselves with things so that they don't have to think about those emotions or sit in it, or they could have been distracting themselves from healing or distracting themselves with work. And you could have known that this wasn't the best for you, but you could have stayed. Like you could have seen clearly, like this is not working. I'm the only one putting in effort. It feels one-sided. But because you felt this and this with this person, you could have stayed hoping that you could make it work somehow. Because just like I talked about that download that I was hearing, that fear is a normal reaction, courage is a choice. It's actually, a pretty typical human response when something feels unbalanced or someone pulls away from us. We think, well, I'll just check in on them more. I'll give more to this connection and hopefully it'll rebalance out, but it doesn't work like that. And King of Pentacles in reverse. Right away I'm getting like someone, Yeah, like someone who was more focused on work, someone who was more focused on money, their reputation. They could have been quite stubborn. You know, I'm hearing they could have been quite stingy with their energy. And you know, the Seven of Wands shows defensiveness, and it could be that you hit a point, right, where you had to make a positive choice, a positive change, and put up boundaries with this person. Okay, so we're going to look at the current energy. What is the current energy? What is the current energy? We have the Ace of Pentacles. I also saw the Sun in reverse. Okay, Five of Swords again. Okay, so here's something about balance, right? The Six of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. So one thing that I'm seeing clearly, I was wondering why I started talking about like baggage and wounding. For some of you, you could actually be starting to heal your childhood wounds, or maybe you have been for a while. Perhaps even getting some help from like a counselor or a therapist, or your person is getting help from a counselor or therapist. There's definitely like nostalgia, thinking about each other. If you are talking to this person, like if you're reconnecting with them, the Five of Swords shows there's still self-sabotage going on. I actually, when that came out, I saw the Sun in reverse want to come out, which makes me, you know, it almost makes me want to do this. So let me just get through the downloads I'm getting. It's really interesting that we have two sixes here, because it's like balance is trying to be restored. You know, the person you're connected to could be still self-sabotaging. They're definitely in their head about this. You could still be in your head. There's the Two of Pentacles again. So something, I just said something could be trying to balance here. And that, you know, usually happens during a separation. So one thing I'm seeing, I'm actually going to have to split the two of you apart to tell who's who here, because there is this soul contract, or like a soulmate energy with the Six of Cups. There's definitely childhood wounding. I hope that you're the one that's working on balance and like equal give and take and reciprocity, and learning not to overgive to situations that aren't meeting you halfway. And that Six of Pentacles is kind of what I was talking about. Like a person can only meet you where they are. The Six of Pentacles is about having a strong, like being grounded enough and healed enough and having enough self-love where we can give to others without giving away part of ourselves. So if this person wasn't yet at that point, it didn't matter how much you gave them. The same thing would have happened. It's also about the Six of Pentacles, learning when we need to stop giving. Otherwise, we start giving part of ourselves away. So you could have struggled with overgiving. This, it kind of worries me a little, because for some of you, I feel like you could be talking to this person and they're still self-sabotaging. You could be reconnecting with them, and you could be trying to, you know, give to this, but they might be lacking, essentially self-sabotaging. And just remember, you want to make sure you're not overgiving, because otherwise this is just going to repeat itself. The Two of Pentacles is showing, again, something is off balance here. So if you are talking to them, something's out of whack. I'm hearing for some of you, you're not talking though. I think that for a lot of you, you're focusing on, let's flip this back around. You could be focusing on giving your energy to situations that give back to you. But, still thinking about this person, still feeling nostalgic about this person. So I'm just going to divide you up here for a second. Let's see your current energy. Okay, so we have the Four of Cups. Actually, I'm going to keep it in reverse. So the Four of Cups is clarity and awareness. In reverse. It's about clarity and awareness. It came out crossing, so I'm going to take it in reverse. For some of you, I almost wanted to put it in the upright, so I'll mention that as well. With the Four of Cups, you could be feeling very unhappy with how things played out here. You could also be in the energy where you're refusing this person's offer. Like, even if they haven't come in. I said hadn't for a reason. Interesting. Maybe if they haven't come in yet, you're in the mindset of, I want equal give and take. I want reciprocity. I'm working on healing. If they come back in, I'm refusing that offer. That's, Four of Cups in the upright. The fact that it's in reverse shows me that you have clarity and awareness about the dynamic of this connection. Like, maybe you recently heard from this person and you didn't see much change, so you refused their offer. Or you didn't see change, so that gave you clarity and awareness that they're not ready for commitment yet. Whatever your clarity and awareness is about here, it could just be, like I said, the dynamic. Like, you could have a better understanding of what happens when you overgive to a person who's like taking your love for granted, because that the Four of Cups also gives me that. It's like someone who's focused on other things, usually focused on the other three cups. They don't even see that beautiful Ace of Cups that's trying to be given to them. The initial M or W could be symbolic. And we have the Ten of Cups. So it's like you have clarity and awareness of what emotional fulfillment looks like and what emotional stability looks like. Perhaps you've even done a lot of inner healing here. Ooh, yes, yes. Queen of Wands, yes. So you could be working on your confidence. You could be glowing up, standing in your power. The Queen of Wands, is not a chaser. Not a chaser, not that Queen of Wands. So that's actually really good. Yes, the Ten of Cups can be about happily ever after, but it's also about our own journey of healing. And to have a true Ten of Cups where, you're both happy long term, you both need to be like emotionally fulfilled. If you come together and neither one of you have that self-love or feel emotionally fulfilled, it's almost like it can dissipate. So you come together and you feel happy because, oh, I met someone and oh, this is great. But very quickly, that honeymoon period can end because you don't have that stable emotional fulfillment. And fulfillment comes within, not from outside of us. So some people believe, like, if I just get that job, if I just get that person, froggy in my throat, release and cleansing healing. Maybe this is something an idea that you're trying to release. Like, it's almost like I'm seeing a goalpost and like a happiness goalpost, and the goalpost keeps moving. Like, so many people think, if I just get the car I want, if I just get my dream job, if I just have money, if I just meet someone, then I'll be happy. But it's actually backwards. It's first you have to find that fulfillment within, and then the rest you start magnetizing to you, the Queen of Wands. I know someone who has struggled with mental health their entire life, and they always thought it's money. It's because of lack of money that I struggle. If I could just have money, if I could just have money. And then they came into some money, and guess what? They still didn't feel fulfilled. Anyway, so I like that for you. Let's get one more for you to confirm. 3 of Cups, raising your vibration. I like it. I like it. 3 of Cups, love it. So again, I feel like you're more understanding of the fact that the 3 of Cups in love, you know, 2 people need to give to that cup in order for there to be energetic flow. If you're just pouring your cup in and they're not giving anything, you're not going to get anywhere. 3 of Cups, you could be, you know, doing things that fulfill you, doing things that make you feel happy, make you feel like you're not pouring into an empty cup. This could be hobbies. This could be making friends or spending time with friends, spending time with your pets. This is beautiful. Look, 6 of Swords energy. So you're moving forward. You're in a transitional period, moving into calmer waters. I like this. I like that. Let's look at your person. There's a card flipped over. Uh-huh. Are you kidding me? There was a card flipped over. I don't know if you could see that. I could see it, but I wasn't going to take it. I wasn't going to... Interesting. Interesting. I wasn't going to take it until it flew out, and just as I went to say, there's a flipped over card, it came flying out, 9 of Swords. So it's almost like I think it flipped over when I was shuffling for you. So it's almost like whatever you're doing is like adding to this person's anxiousness because you're moving forward. You're transitioning into calmer waters. We do have the Page of Pentacles. So this person is anxious, like sleepless nights. These swords kind of hover, right? Letting us know that something is unhealed. So it's like they have swords hovering over them. Again, sleepless nights. And I have never, ever noticed this before. You know what that is, don't you? That's that 5 of Swords that keeps popping out. There goes my throat again. I don't think I've ever noticed that's the 5 of Swords tarot card. So it's almost like, and look at these 2 swords right here. I love when isn't it funny how you can look at something every day and then one day you just look at it in a different way? That could be symbolic of how your person is looking at you. I've never noticed this before. We have 2 swords here. So it's like this person is stuck about how to come towards you. There's a need to go within here. 2 of Swords, there's a need to go within. And that's what I mean about these swords hovering over them. So there's the potential for this person to, you know, transform here. They're very anxious. Page of Pentacles, that is the start of growth. So that's positive. The start of growth leading to a transformation. But like I said, somebody could be missing teeth here. It's almost like this person is anxious about what you're doing, or they're anxious about coming towards you with an offer, or they're anxious about apologizing. The Page of Pentacles can sometimes also be an apology. It can also talk about commitment. So fear of commitment. Interesting. Let's confirm them. And I was seeing the Sun in reverse when I was like, Justice was there and then the cards were kind of split and I could see the Sun in reverse sticking out. Let's confirm your person's energy. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I can't help it. I think that maybe you're laughing. I don't know. I found that ooh, there we go. I found that very funny. Because the Emperor came flying out. This person isn't in Emperor energy. The Sun in reverse, Justice, it's like they're afraid. They've been afraid to heal. They've been afraid to set the record straight. They've been afraid to apologize. So, I don't think this person is in divine masculine energy, like Emperor energy, but I think that there's the potential for them from this to step into masculine energy, and I keep hearing fear is a natural response, courage is a choice. To be this Emperor, you know, they need to make that choice to have the courage to heal and step up and take action. But when that came out, it made me laugh. It made me laugh because it's showing that why this person is afraid to approach you. Like the Queen of Swords, that's, to me, that's you. And I'm not talking about gender, but I can, the fact that we have the Nine of Swords and the Emperor is like, this person is anxious to step up and take action. And then this came out and it's like, oh, that's why. Because they're feeling apprehensive about what energy you're in. With the moon, this person has like, they don't know what energy you're in. Which another blessing of tarot is that we can, peek into people's energy. But I don't think they watch tarot. So they have no idea how you're doing, I don't think, because this shows you're very mysterious right now, and they have no idea what to expect when they come towards you, which is why they feel so nervous. They don't know if you're going to welcome them with open arms. What was on the bottom? The Five of Pentacles in reverse. Exactly. They don't know if you're going to welcome them. They don't know if they've made enough positive change to warrant being welcomed. So they're afraid. They're afraid to step up and talk to you. You're so scary. That's sarcasm. You're not scary. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. I'm kind of being insincere, I guess. My bad. Maybe they were, I don't know. It's almost like I'm getting the energy that you were patient with this person and like, you're kind of standing in your power. Queen of Swords, I like it. Queen of Swords, knowing your worth, speaking your authentic truth, putting up boundaries, not putting up with less than you deserve, right? So it's like this person is afraid that if they come in, you're not going to respond, or that maybe they're afraid that you've blocked them, or that they'll get the sword. Like I'm seeing the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Off with their heads. Like that's what they're afraid of, that you're going to bite their head off. Anyway. I'm not laughing at you or your person. I'm laughing at the energy. It's like they're intimidated. Again, I'm not laughing at them. Ooh, interesting. There's a lot of queens coming out. That's good. That means, to me, that means you're working on yourself. But yeah, there's this energy that they're worried that you've moved on, I feel. Anyway, I'm going to stop laughing now. Except, I'm not. So let's it's just comical, right? Like, to me, that's comical a little bit that, they took, like, seriously, the world in reverse. There's, like, unfinished lessons and patterns that this person needs to make positive changes with. The world in reverse. They took you for granted. I could have told you that. I'm sure you know that. So it's just a little comical to me that I'm seeing you putting in all this effort and now they're afraid to approach you. Anyway, it's a little bit of karmic justice I'm hearing that you are in your power now. Anyway, I'm going to move on now. Taurus energy, Aries energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer. Let's see how I want to see how you're feeling about them. How are you feeling about them? How are you feeling about them? Four of Wands. Interesting. That is really interesting. So, I'm hearing a few different things. Four of Wands is, for how you feel about them. You saw yourself marrying them. You could have been married to them. You could have lived together. You could have been engaged. You could definitely see this as your person, like like your counterpart, your twin flame, 1111. The Six of Swords here, it's clear to me, especially with that Six of Cups, that you still feel their energy. You still think about them. You still care about them. But you feel like this was a fated connection, right? Wheel of Fortune energy. But what I heard when I looked at this Six of Swords, which I don't normally hear, like usually I hear, deep down you would like to move into calmer waters with them. Deep down you would like to repair a disconnect and come into union. But for some of you, I was hearing, like, even if that's my counterpart, even if that's the person I saw myself being with, I need to move forward. Like, I need to keep making adjustments in my life, Wheel of Fortune. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. Like, if anything that's meant for you will not pass you by. So it's almost like I'm hearing two different things. For some of you, you still have this hope that someday you'll reconnect. But for others of you, you're almost like in a healthy detachment where you do see this person as your 1111, your counterpart, but you know that right now you're being guided forward. Let's get another one for how you feel about them. How do you feel about them? They neglected you. King of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. They neglected you. They failed to see the love that you were giving this. The Knight of Pentacles is so slow. I love the Knight of Pentacles because that Knight is determined, slow and steady, determined. But it's slow and it's in reverse. So it's almost like it makes sense why the Six of Swords is there, because if this person is like taking their slow, sweet time, you probably feel like you're missing out on things. Or, I don't know how old you are, but you could be thinking like, how long is this going to take? Like, you could be sick of waiting, and I don't mean actually waiting. But Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this is someone who neglected you. Like, it's so clear. And for some of you, it had to do with work. Like they prioritized materialistic things over love. You know what I mean? Like materialistic things, like going out with friends and drinking, or work, or I don't know why I keep hearing, every time I look at this card, I hear gambling. So maybe they played poker, or maybe they like to go to the casino. And that's what I mean about it's almost comical, because now they're apprehensive about approaching you because they feel like you're gonna reject or neglect them, or like you've been neglecting to chase them. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's almost comical. I'm also feeling slightly, sometimes I get this big sister energy where I feel slightly protective. And it's coming up a little bit in this reading. Workaholic, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Workaholic, lazy, dull, boring, no initiative, cheap, irresponsible, gambler. I knew there was a reason I was hearing gambling. Neglecting relationship. Look, my dogs are just, they're like, I can't believe that you neglected that viewer. Even my dogs are all riled up. All right. Seven of Swords in reverse. The fact that the Seven of, like, you're done with it. That's what I mean. Like, Seven of Swords in reverse is I'm done. That's the end of games. Like, I'm done. I'm done playing those games. I'm done being neglected. I'm done being the only one putting in effort. Like, the end of games. All right, let's see how they're feeling about you. How are they feeling about you? Five of Cups in reverse. So they're feeling like you're healing from this. They're hoping that there's still hope here. But they feel like you are healing and releasing, which, if you are hearing me say that and that scares you, like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to think I'm moving on because then they'll give up. No, that's what they need. They need a fire, like, that'll light a fire under their butt. And you know, it's not the healthiest thing when someone fears losing you, so they promise they're going to step up because they feel like they're losing you. Like, do you know what I mean? It's, how can I say that? That didn't make sense when I said it. Hang on. It shouldn't take losing you for them to value you. Unfortunately, it sometimes does. This could have been someone, I'm not sure, but I'm hearing it, so I'm going to say it. This could have been someone, when you tried to bring this up with them, they could have said, like, I'll change, I'll do better, but then nothing changed. I promise I'll change. But like, sometimes this is what a person needs to wake up, is to feel like they've missed their chance. And I know that it probably sounds a little harsh, but sometimes that's what's needed to change someone. Like, I'm thinking about the show Intervention. You know, when I was an alcoholic, I still am, I'm a recovering alcoholic, but when I was like an active alcoholic, you know, the people around me, I don't blame them, but they enabled me. They didn't give me any consequences. I had no reason to change. On that show Intervention, I don't even know if they still make those. I used to watch it while I drank. How weird is that? Like, how twisted is that? I used to sit there and get drunk and watch Intervention. It was like my soul was crying out for something. But on that show, it's when everybody gets together and says, here's the consequences. You will no longer have access to me. I will no longer give you money. And sometimes that's what it takes for that person to hit rock bottom. So don't be afraid that this person thinks that you're healing from them and moving forward. That's kind of what they need. They need to hit that 10 of Swords. They need to hit that rock bottom. Anyway. Yeah, this person feels like you have boundaries up. Let's keep going. How is this person feeling about you? the Star. Very healing. You could be shining right now. You could be famous, I guess, but they feel like you are focused on your healing. And again, you're healing and releasing them. This person still has hope for this connection. Both of these cards talk about still having hope that they can make amends with you. Knight of Cups. So they do have, you know, romantic feelings for you, the Knight of Cups. It's really interesting because this person does want to reconnect with you, but they feel like you're moving on, which again is not necessarily a bad thing. One more for feelings. Judgment. So they know this person does feel like they want to resurrect something here, that they want a renewal, that they need to show you that they've been healing and been doing self-evaluation. You awaken them to something. There also could be a fear that you're going to judge them or that you are judging them. And then we've got the World in reverse on the bottom, exactly like I said when I saw it. They feel like they took you for granted. What are their intentions? Strength. Like, look at their intentions. To work up the courage to take control of this situation. Listen, if we could just rewind for a minute, I wish we could. You can. Remember when, I don't know if you saw when I pulled out the Nine of Wands, but there was someone, you know, standing in front of a burning building, but there was a barrier between them and the burning building. And now we have this King of Wands in the same burning building. Anyway, so their intentions are to work up the courage. Remember, it all started with that thing that I heard. I don't even know if it's an actual quote. Fear is a normal reaction. Courage is a choice. So their intentions are to make the choice to take control of this situation, to mature. I'm getting like transformation or like Phoenix energy with this King of Wands. To cultivate a strong relationship with you, have the courage to come towards you for emotional fulfillment and happiness, communication, Ace of Swords, breakthrough moment. So this is their intentions, but they're like, they are very afraid to come towards you right now, which means they need to ground themselves. They need to work on their confidence. They need to work on their root chakra, their solar plexus, their throat chakra. I wish I could give them guidance on that. Like sometimes I wish I could give the viewer's person guidance. But that's that stupid need in me. Not stupid, I hate that word. That's that healer in me that I need to learn that you can't force, like I am learning it. I have learned it. You can't force people to heal. It has to be a choice that they make, and it takes a lot of bravery to heal. Anyway, you could have, the fact that I'm saying that, you could have felt like you just wished you could have helped them heal. Wowza. So that's their intention. Let's see what action they're going to take towards you in the future. Do we have action? Two of Pentacles. Okay. So, for the near future, I'm not seeing action, and I'll tell you why. There's something external blocking them right now. Remember on the Nine of Swords, I saw the two swords crossing? So I don't see them taking action in the next 2 weeks The Two of Swords is 2 weeks. I mean, the Two of Pentacles is 2 years, but I don't think it's going to take them 2 years. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, maybe it's been like a year and a half or something since you've heard from them. I don't know. But there's a need to find balance and go within before they reach out, which makes me think you're being divinely protected from this person right now so that, you know, they don't come in and hurt you again. With the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, that's showing me that there could be the opinions of friends and family influencing this. So that could be they're afraid of your friends and family. That could be that the people around them. Remember when everything happens for a reason. Releasing, cleansing, healing, froggy in my throat. So there's releasing, cleansing, and healing specifically of like family dynamics or childhood wounding that they need to go within and balance before they come towards you. They're too afraid right now, which means I think they really hurt you. Or they know they crossed a line, right? This can also be about what I was saying about drinking. Is I said the people closest to me enabled me. And that's kind of what happens to us is we surround ourselves. I'm not saying they're not surrounded by good people. That's not what I'm saying. But we kind of surround ourselves with people who feel comfortable, right? Sometimes that don't push us to grow. So if this is someone who has a lot they need to heal, it's very possible that the people around them don't trigger them to grow, or they tell them, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to heal. Just find somebody else. You're fine. Just like when I was drinking, right? That's why it's so important that when we ask people for advice, it's normal to ask our family and friends for advice, right? About like, what should I do about this job? What should I do about this? What should I do about this? But when it comes to healing, we kind of need to talk to someone who's impartial. Because the people who have been around us, if they haven't pointed out what we need to heal and been honest with us yet, I don't think they're gonna. You know what I mean? That's why it's important when you're healing, and if you're thinking about like counseling or therapy or something like that, you need to go to someone who doesn't know you, who's not gonna baby you. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing a block there. Let's see what blockage. What's this blockage? What's blocking them? And I think you should just, the King of Pentacles again, get out of here. Like, I'm sick of looking at you. Like, go away. Turn into the upright and then come back. What's blocking them? They're more focused on material things. They're more focused on work. Like, again, this could be someone who's using work as a distraction. Rather than going within. And I don't want you to change what you're doing because you have clarity and awareness. You are trying to raise your vibration. You are focusing on healing, happiness, moving forward. And that's the healthiest thing for you because this person is a little bit stuck. Like, Spirit is hilarious today. As I'm saying, this person is a little bit stuck. The Hanged Man comes out. So this person, what's blocking them is their perspective. Their perspective needs to change. And that's what I mean about going to someone, asking for advice from someone who's impartial, because the people around them could probably share your person's perspective. So they're not making them see it a different way. You know what I mean? Like, I can give you an example. Looking at this dynamic, I could imagine, I'm not saying this is what their friends and family are saying, but I could imagine like someone's sitting around with their friends talking about this, and their friends saying, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with being more focused on work. That person sounds like they're needy. That person sounds like they're too demanding. They're too much. There's nothing wrong with you. That's a them problem. You know what I mean? So right now your person is stuck in their own perspective. Now remember, in their energy, there is this, like, they want to come towards you with growth. They want to come towards you with an offer. But it's like the universe is holding them back. I said it, divine protection, until they change their perspective. Otherwise, it's just going to repeat. You know what I mean? I don't think I've been breathing. I think I forgot to breathe for the last 20 minutes. Yeah, stagnation, avoidance, standstill. This person needs to that's huge. That is huge. The Hanged Man in reverse. This person, again, they're stalling. They're in avoidance. They're not willing to see anybody but their own perspective and their friends and family. It doesn't mean that they won't. The Hanged Man in reverse, it'll happen, but it's like they're holding on. But the Hanged Man in reverse says this person needs to re-examine the priorities, like what they prioritize in life. Hanged Man in reverse. That's the advice of the Hanged Man in reverse. They need to re-examine what they prioritize, whose opinions they prioritize. Remember at the beginning when I was getting that King of Wands energy with the, like, selfishness and prioritizing all of their stuff over love. All right. Will there be a shift in this person's energy? Will there be a shift, and what shift will that be? Will there be a shift, and what shift will that be? That's good. There is going to be a shift, and the Three of Pentacles talks about mediation. So that's what I mean. I feel like, sorry about my dogs, they'll stop in a minute. They'll stop, maybe. Yeah. So, will there be a shift? Yes. This person is going to shift the way they view teamwork, cooperation, reciprocal energy, right? We talked about it with the Six of Pentacles. Could come in the form of a mediator. So someone who, whoever this is, it could be a coworker, it could be an actual mediator, a counselor, a friend, but whoever this is going to tell them the truth about teamwork and how if you neglect a connection, it can't be like a cohesive unit. Do you know what I mean? Like someone in their life, again, whether they know them or not, is going to say, you know what? I see the other person's perspective. And that's gonna cause this new perspective. We have the Two of Cups. So it feels like this person has an honest, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I don't know why I said it like that. Maybe your person kind of holds back or embellishes the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe the version that they tell of what happened is kind of tipped in their favor. Anyway. Now I think they're done. So there's an honest conversation that they have with someone. Could be a mutual friend of yours. Like I said, it could be a coworker, it could be a friend, it could be someone that's not, like, that's impartial, like a mediator, who tells them honestly how energy works and what it means to work as a team, and that shifts their perspective. Now, positive change, it creates positive change. So I think this person just has no idea how like reciprocal energy works and how it doesn't work. Like if you don't give to it, it's like a plant. If you don't water the plant and you don't give the plant light and nutrients, the plant is going to die, right? Get a fake plant. Anyway, I'm hearing 2 months. 2 months. So I want to see the energy between you and this person in 2 months. But you keep doing what you're doing. What is the energy between you in 2 months? 7 of Swords in reverse. That's good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why wasn't I doing a face reading? Why wasn't I doing a face reading? You would not believe what just happened with that card that came out. So 7 of Swords in reverse. That's the end of running. That's setting the record straight. No longer playing games. No longer self-sabotaging. Something weighing heavily on their conscious, not their subconscious, their actual, like what they're aware of that they want to make amends for. But a card came flying out. It hit me, did like this dramatic flip in the air, landed on the floor. It's the King of Pentacles in the upright. Didn't I just say, don't come back until you're in the upright? That was freaking magic. I wish you had seen it. Oh my gosh. So they come in wanting to give. They come in emotionally responsible, more emotionally mature, financially responsible. They come in, you know, wanting to commit to this. I don't even know what's on the bottom. That was hilarious. That was hilarious to me. We have the Magician. So there is communication here. Elevating this connection. If you want it. If you even want it. Right now, I think it's important that you keep focusing on what you're doing. Keep glowing up, right? All right. So the Magician talks about communication, Gemini and Virgo. I forgot to mention signs once I was getting into it. So, advice for you. What can you focus on? What can you focus on? I want to say focus on... That's hilarious. High Priestess. Silent and guarded. Trusting your intuition, but silent and guarded. If this person, like, don't let them trigger you. You know, the High Priestess, remain calm, cool, and collected. Don't let them trigger you. Trust your intuition. Remain silent and guarded. Not as punishment, but as, you know, boundaries, self-protection, I'm hearing. For some of you, you might want to focus on your mission as a light worker. I hadn't mentioned it today, so there you go. We have the Knight of Swords, so don't make any impulsive action. Don't let them trigger you. Don't let them bring out this Knight of Swords in you. Like if they reach out and they haven't changed, don't let them trigger you. Don't react from a triggered place. Remain calm, cool, and collected, right? Queen of Swords. Be that Queen of Swords. Keep focusing on making positive changes. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. You know, the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You can't change this person. What you can do is focus on making positive changes in your life, right? Again, don't let them trigger you. Don't let them trigger something that you've been trying to heal. Because, anyway. And then we've got the Queen of Wands. That's magic. The Queen of Wands. So embody that Queen of Wands. It's magnetic. It's magnetic. Work on your confidence. There is a black cat on there. That could be symbolic for someone. But sit in your power. Focus on your relationship with spirit. Look at that. I like it. Raise that vibration. Do you hear my kids laughing? Raise your vibration. Be confident. Stand in your power. Work on your creativity. Spend time with friends or doing creative hobbies. Oh my gosh. I mean, that was a whole reading right there, and I didn't even get any oracle cards. I will get the oracle deck I was thinking of, though. All right. How is this person feeling about you? Let's have a look. Even though we've already done the whole tarot reading. I meant to stop. Whoops. I meant to stop and get some of these. Boundaries. Look at the cut. Boundaries. No, drawing the line. Enough is enough. Didn't I say? I was hearing you crossed the line. I was actually hearing, you crossed a line, you jerk. I don't know if you said that to them, but that's specifically what I was hearing. But they crossed a line here. Boundaries, so that they feel like there's a wall there now. Beauty, Empress energy, charming, graceful, kind-hearted. Clinging, holding on, obsessing, spying, new beginnings, wanting a new beginning with you. Page of Pentacles, right? That's what I mean. Their intentions are very clear. Their feelings, very clear. Their actions, they're stuck until they change their perspective. Because again, Spirit's not going to let this person near you to hurt you again, is what I'm hearing. How is this person feeling about my viewer? My bestie. My bestie. Confessions, unveiling, coming clean messages. So there is something they want to tell you. Oh, that's interesting, coming out together. So it says dishonesty, deception, trickery, but this is also like they could have been dishonest with you. They could want to admit that, because we had the Seven of Swords in reverse. So they could, you know, want to come clean about some of the things that they were dishonest about. Or, you know, apologize for some sort of deception, even deceiving themselves. Interesting. And we have depth, awareness, importance, values. So they're understanding the depth of you and the importance and the value that you brought to this connection. There goes my throat again. They don't want me telling you how they feel. Excuse me. Yeah, like you were, look at this. Like I don't think we need to play energetic games. I'm not talking about energetic games. And you know, sometimes the golden retriever and the black cat can be talked about as if we're playing some kind of game, you know? I'm talking about the energy of it. I'm not telling you that you can't be a golden retriever and you must embody black cat energy. I'm not telling you that. My throat. What I am saying is that when I see these symbols here, like for how this person felt about you, they thought you'd always be there. They thought you'd always take them back. They thought you would, you know, continue to give to that cup, continue to put in effort, as they didn't. So that's what I see when I see a golden retriever. I see a giver. I see a lover. I see someone who's very loyal, who, you know, is very trustworthy and will always be there no matter what. Your advice is to be the Queen of Wands. And again, I'm not telling you to be a black cat. I'm not telling you that you have to, like, embody black cat energy. But when I see a black cat, I love black cats. I used to have one named Java. But when I see a black cat and a golden retriever together, right, like this, like spirit wants you to embody, like you can still be that golden retriever for people, Six of Pentacles, who know your worth. But when it comes to this connection, more so, you know, embody that black cat energy. You don't need to, I don't even know much about it, but I know some cats can be like mysterious and they'll come to you when they know it's worth coming for, right? Like I'm just seeing an offer and like a cat being like, that doesn't look like it's worth my time. Like, and turning their head, right? I did spend some time with Wally on the weekend. I do miss him. And I know you guys miss him. He's doing well though. So we have clarity. So they are gaining clarity about what a gem you were, how loyal you were. On the bottom, we have longing, craving, aching, wanting. Six of Cups. So this connected energy, like they could be longing and you could be more focused on giving to others or helping others or giving to yourself. Learning that you deserve reciprocity. Clinging. Hopeless. So this one fell, but clinging, holding on, obsessing, spying. So they're still holding on to your energy. Hopeless. Sinking, despair, falling apart. For all we know, this person could have, oh my gosh, look at what's on the bottom. For all we know, this person could have hoped that you would chase them. No, I'm not saying they know what chasing is. Divine Feminine on the bottom. So like they're feeling hopeless because you aren't chasing. Divine Feminine, you're focusing on yourself. You're tending to your inner garden. You are in yin energy, which is not taking action. And I think they thought that you would reach out or that you would chase them or you would always be there, that golden retriever, right? Pain, apprehensive. I kept saying apprehensive, Queen of Swords. So they're apprehensive, afraid, cautious because you are in a different energy now. Thinking, missing you, craving, desiring. For some of you, they could think you put a curse on them. So I'm doing one of those Conqueror challenges, which is a walking challenge. And I'm doing the Salem witch trial or the Salem. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's all about the Salem witch trial. And this morning, as you make progress on it, they send you like information about it. And there was this book that they mentioned about how to like spot witches. And let me tell you, if we lived back then, we would all be deemed witches. Isn't that insane? Even like I was thinking about it, and you guys are my besties and you're the ones I talk to about this kind of stuff, so I'm telling you. But like even anyone who appeared different, like not the norm. So anybody who was like really talkative or really isolated, and I started thinking about like people with neurodivergencies, we would have all been deemed witches back then. Isn't that insane? That's sad. I can show you what fear does. Anyway, I don't know why I told you that. Oh, because I saw the witchcraft card. Apology. See, it's about time that dang apology came out because that's what I was hearing at the very beginning with justice. So they know they need to apologize before they come towards you. And if this person can't apologize or has a fear of apologizing, that's something that's keeping them stuck here. Divine Masculine. Remember when I asked how they're doing. So they know they need to, again, I don't think they know what Divine Masculine energy is, but they know they need to embody the energy of stepping up and apologizing and taking action. They need to stop avoiding, blocking, pushing away. Actually, you know what's interesting? This is how they're feeling about you. So they're actually feeling like you're standing in your strength now and that you're avoiding them. That you, I don't want to say they think you're pushing them away. I think they pushed you away, okay? Energetically. But they feel like you are now, like, this looks like the Eight of Cups to me. So they feel like now you're standing in your strength, you're walking away, you're no longer accepting less than you deserve. Maybe you did block them. One more. One more. All right, we have fantasy, daydreaming, imagining, fantasizing, but there's a card that I read the other day that talks about this. Like, it's nice to daydream that, yeah, you could daydream that you can come in and apologize and there can be this reunion, but you have to take down to earth steps to actually do it, to have that daydream come true, right? We have bluff, pretending, mask, exaggeration. So this person could think that you were bluffing when you put up boundaries. They could have worn a mask with you. They also could have exaggerated. Remember, I was getting that download about people and their energy? I was hearing embellishing. Is that the right word? Exaggerating would work too. Emotional storm. So I don't think you can see this, that they're going through an emotional storm, that they are feeling affected by this and in longing for you. All right, a couple messages from this person. What does this person want to say to you? What does this person want to say to you? Insecurity. I miss you, do you? Like, this is the energy, like Eight of Wands, you know, someone who wants to talk to you but doesn't have the courage to talk to you and is wondering if you miss them. And again, that shows a little bit of, you know, nothing. It shows a little bit of insecurity on their part. My life started when I met you. So clearly you awoke something in them when you met. All right. What does this person want to say? I hope you'll wait for me. And remember, you don't have to energetically wait for anyone. You can keep moving forward. You can keep your heart open that if it's meant to be, it'll be, right? But I wouldn't be... Gossip only hurts more. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Sorry. Other people's opinions. I knew it. I knew it. I need time for me. This could have also been someone who, like, I was getting the energy, like, this could have been someone who was very, like, more focused on their own stuff. Like, you could have asked for more time and they could have been like, I don't have the time. I have this to do and I have this to do and I just need more time for me. This is also Four of Swords, though. I'm open to compromise, ... Okay. I've had this card a lot, right? I've had this card come out a lot. And I always hear, like, I see the Two of Cups. I see people having that honest conversation, learning how to compromise, right? I've never ever looked at this card in the way I'm about to explain. But looking at the energy your person is in when I asked about actions, there's something worrying me about those three dots. It's like, I'm open to compromise, but it feels like there's a but after that. Like, it feels like this person is still in a little bit of ego. And I've never gotten that when I look at that card. It's like there should be a but there, you know? I just needed to mention it. Do you even see me that way? So there is, remember the moon card, there's a fear, like, do you even see yourself getting back together with this person? So there's doubt there. Yeah, nah. Interesting. I'm seeing like these two cards are showing me exactly why communication is being blocked right now. Because if they come in and they're like, I'm open to compromise, but we really need to talk about how much time and attention you need or demand. Like that's, do you know what I mean? Like there's something after that ... that feels off. Again, I was seeing communication being blocked because this person is still a little bit in their ego. Their perspectives, that's what, yes, thank you, Spirit. It's like, I'm open to compromise, but I'm still stuck in my perception. Yeah, I'm going to put you right over that. So like this person gets the idea that they're ready and then like, yeah, no, I'm not ready. I'm being brutally honest with you because I love you. There's a reason communication is being blocked. I do these readings all the time. There's a reason it's being blocked. It's because this person is still stuck in their perspective. And you won't be able, like, you can't compromise with them at this moment in time. Remember, I was seeing something about 2 months. Maybe around Christmas, this person sees a family member. Or like misses you over Christmas and looks into therapy, but someone needs to be honest with this person. Like, look at this, gossip only hurts more. Someone is going to be honest with this person, 3 of Pentacles, and they're going to point out your side. They're going to point out, we shouldn't even have sides, right? But that's the energy I'm getting from your person. It's like distorted masculine energy. That's what I'm seeing, like with that 3 of Pentacles and someone pointing at the pentacle. It's like they're going to tell someone what happened between the two of you, or someone's going to ask, have you talked to that person lately? Whatever happened with that? And they're going to tell that person what happened. And that person is going to be like, well, I can kind of see their point. Like, have you ever thought about it from their perspective? Like, that's what I'm getting. I'm in so much pain. So they are hurting here. I have a hair. Let me get it. There we go. I imagine you naked and light. So this person could have also been more focused on sex, right? I shouldn't even say that. YouTube will take it down. But this person like focused on the wrong things, not focused on love. So they could have been like, I hate to say it, but they could have been like very willing to do that with you, but not spend quality time with you. You know what I mean? Because they were too focused on material things or too focused on quick gratification, if you get what I mean. The light. So this person still needs to see the light. And you know what I'm going to say? I believe they can. I believe that, again, that 3 of Pentacles, someone is going to say something that makes them see your perspective. But right now it's like they're very much in their ego. And I have to be honest about that with you because I love you. So you keep doing what you're doing and I'll keep doing readings. I'll be here. And I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.